Do you still learn new things when you're working with people who are younger than you in the business?
But I think I'm the youngest. I swear, I mean it. I believe in it.
Tell me that. Tell me what you mean.
Because it's I think age is in your mind, and because I'm still a child, I want to learn. I'm in a kid in a toy shop, and I feel I'm in the Disney world, and I don't feel old. I don't feel like a veteran. I feel like a newcomer.
You are just a few hours away from the world premiere. How are you feeling?
Well, I'm very excited. It's one of my wishes, one of the, bucket lists to come to Toronto for Toronto Film Festival, TIFF as I call it. Just wanted to be there. I was supposed to be here in 2008, 2009, 2008 for Slumdog Millionaire, but my visa didn't come in time, so I couldn't be here. And here I am after so many years, and it happened. And it happened with the film I have produced, and I've got a small cameo in the film, and it's produced by my daughter and myself, and directed by my son-in-law. It's all in the family.
What does that mean for you to have this be a family affair with your daughter and son-in-law?
Well, it's tough. It's tough to have the family, making a film with a family. It is not that easy.
Why is that now?
Yeah, because, sometimes, I am a little brutal, when I'm, at least when I'm working. So for me, when I make choices in the film, and if I see something, if I don't like it, or or whatever it is, or if I have to, if they want something very honest feedback from me, where my work is concerned, and for me, making films, acting films, is my work, and this is what I love. So I cannot be dishonest with it. So, and then of course you have to be so brutally honest with your family. And it doesn't matter if she's my daughter or my son-in-law. If I don't like something, I'll have to say it honestly, and that's what I do. So it's painful.
It's hard sometimes when
It's
you have
very
to
hard.
when you have to give hard feedback to members of your family.
Absolutely. But they're used to it because they know that the first time I see the first cut, obviously I just freak out. Or sometimes I see the first cut and I just leave the edit. I say, what is this? That kind of stuff. And then when I see the second, no, it's not that bad. Then and then of course I saw the film, and and most of the films my daughter's produced till now have been really inspiring, motivating, something out of the box, something which she's when you talk about films which are headed by a leading lady in India, have always been very not entertaining films, not funny films, not comedies.
Often dramas, tragedies.
Tragedies. But Ria believes that why can't we make entertaining and comedies and fun films with girls?
My understanding is this film is quite groundbreaking. In the description for it at the Toronto Film Festival, it says this discusses subject matter unlike any we've seen in an Indian film at the Toronto Festival before. What's your perspective on that? Does this film seem groundbreaking to you?
To be honest with you, I've never realized what is groundbreaking as such, because you just listen to it and I go with my gut, with my instinct. And I think somewhere my daughter is not my daughter or not my son, she's my child. And there's a lot, she also takes these kind of decisions which she doesn't realize is going to be groundbreaking. She just likes the story, and she likes the way it feels when she hears it, and she wants to work on it, and she believes in it, and she feels it's going to be something I'm very passionately motivated. And we go ahead and do it. And if it becomes groundbreaking, it's not up to us. It's the people who decide it's groundbreaking or not. You cannot want to do something which is just for the sake of that it's groundbreaking or it's different. You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know when you make it. When you make a painting or you art, when you act, or you don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
And the right people have to come together, the right team, the right director, the right cast, and then it becomes what it has to become. Otherwise, instinctively you feel there's something like something new, something which I've never heard, something which I've never been done. Very scary it is, It's not the usual stuff. You feel. And that's the fun of it.
It's very positive in its way it talks about sex. It's very positive in the way it talks about desire, the way it talks about relationships. I mean, I think that was part of the thing that was seen as groundbreaking.
This film is very honest. In the casting, in the writers, they all are very, very relatively new. And
Except for you, you're a big star.
yeah, that's the reason they hardly gave me a role in the film. Now, he's the big star. Let's give him the worst role in the film.
Here's the big star. Let's give him 6 lines.
And I'm begging for more lines.
Well, it sounds like you're very proud of your daughter for making this film.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
I want to come back to the film a little bit later, but it's so rare to get an opportunity to talk to you, especially in person. I mean, as you mentioned, this is your first time at the Toronto International Film Festival. I'd like to go back to the beginning of your film career and just ask broadly, what was it that drew you to acting when you were young?
I don't know. I was very fortunate from the time I came into my senses. I just wanted to be an actor. I met a lot of actors and a lot of people in other, who were engineers or scientists or businessmen or entrepreneurs or, doctors, or they always felt they wanted to do something else and they became what they were. But I was very clear from the time I came into my senses. I was, matter of fact, almost 10 or 11 years old when I, without, letting anybody know, I auditioned for a film and I got the film as a child actor.
You ran away to audition for that film.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Tell me that story.
There are these background actors. This friend of mine, his father was the one who, we have these agents who get all these background actors, and and the filmmakers and the directors. I said, okay, they have the responsibility. Not only the background actors, but small cameos, small roles, and all. So this friend, his father was, and then he asked me one day very casually, would you like to act? I said, yeah, of course, I love to act. That's what I want to do. So this is one film which is happening, and you have to go to the studio for the audition. And I said, if I tell my parents, they said, you better study. This is the time you're just in school, and you want to, become. I said, without informing them, I went and I did it, and I passed. And and then I said, if I tell them I've been accepted and I'm not being, I'm being part of the film, then I said, let me do 1 or 2 days of shooting, 1 or 2 days of shooting. Then I'll tell them so that they can't throw me out. And my father being a film producer also, he will not want me, to get out of the film and, they have losses. It would be unprofessional. He would never want anybody to be unprofessional. So I shot for the film. And after I shot for the film, I told them, I said, I'm doing this film. So that's the story.
How did they take it when they told them?
Well, they had no choice.
Yeah. But were they happy? Were they...
Well, they were, yeah, I think they were, how parents are, I think when they see the child happy, they're happy, that kind of stuff. Not happy that I become an actor, but they're happy that they just, that I'm happy doing that. And then, of course, I followed what I wanted to do, and I finished my school, then I went to college, university, and before I could finish my university, before I could get a degree, I just decided, I said, no, why should I get a degree or why should I finish my studies? Let me get into acting. And I started acting very young, and I've been in this business since 43 years now.
There's the craft, right? There's acting.
Yeah.
It's your work. As you said, I've been busy for 40 years, and I've been doing that work my entire life. That's a thing you can control. You can control when I show up to work. I know my lines. I know how to give. I know how to do what I do. And you strike me as that kind of person.
Because I love it.
Yep.
Because I'm passionate about it.
There's the other thing, which is the fame part of the equation, which we don't ask for, which comes along with that other part. How did you find because you're very famous, how did you find when the fame started to enter your life?
I felt that this will give you more job opportunities.
Yeah.
For me, it was just getting more job opportunities. So I was, I took it not in a way that fame, for me, I said this fame, I might get more films. I'll get more opportunities to work with better filmmakers, directors, better stories will come to me. That's the way I tackled. I really not got excited about that, but I was more excited that I'm going to get more work.
It didn't impact your life? It didn't interfere with your life?
No, it's the same. I just get up in the morning and I just look forward to being on the set. I look forward to prepping for my role. I look forward to, I just do anything for if someone asks me that, okay, I'll pay you so much and I want you to do this, or this will, or if I do this, will help my film become more people are going to watch it. They will ask me 10%. I would rather give them 100%. And that's the way I've tackled my life, my career, and my personal and professional life. Like, for example, when I was friendly to this beautiful girl. I started dating her, and then I fell in love with her, and I had to make a choice. I said, being in this business, show business, everybody said, no, I think you should delay your having the serious relationship and getting married. It'll affect your career.
Yeah.
I said, it doesn't matter. For me, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen because I believe in my hard work, not these other things which will make me more popular.
Yeah. You have trust in yourself.
I trusted myself, and I said, I'm going to get married to her, and I'm with her. We're together since 50 years now.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Could I ask you about Slumdog Millionaire?
Yeah, sure.
It's that last time you were supposed to be in Toronto, you mentioned it was for Slumdog Millionaire. You didn't get the visa in time. You weren't able to come over. That's when a lot of people, that's when I was first introduced to your work, was through Slumdog Millionaire.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about how that role came to you.
See, I think Danny was in India, and I think he must have spoken to Loveleen, who was she was a co-director, and she was the casting director too. I assume or presume that he must have spoken to her that this is the kind of a role it is, and of course, it's always the kind of work you've done in the past, your body of work, and being a professional and being someone, and he must have seen some of my work, and he felt that I was the right choice. And the another producer called The Brace, who was the executive producer, who was trying to get in touch with me. Though they sent me the script, and they said, Danny Boyle is directing the film. And to be honest with you, I was aware of him, but I'd forgotten about him.
Yeah.
I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. Then my son was a huge fan of Train Spotting, and I was in UK for some show or something like that, and he had asked me to get the poster for Train Spotting, and I realized I had got the poster for him, and there was posters there in a room on his wall, and he was a huge fan of Danny Boyle. He was a young kid, and but I said, Dad, that's Danny Boyle, he's director of Train Spotting. And I realized, I said, yeah, after Titanic, the next film DiCaprio did was The Beach. And he did it with Danny Boyle. There must be something special about this director. And I said, done. I'm going to do this film. I said, read the script. I said, no, I'm doing this film. You read it. Then I read the script. He read the script. I read the script. I loved it. I loved the role. And obviously, I was reading the whole script, but I was looking at my lines. I said, do I have enough, me too, And I met him, and he says, and we started discussing, and he says, I want you for the film. I said, done. I'm doing the film. I met the producer. As a producer said, well, we know how much that's the kind of remuneration you take for your Indian films, but we can't afford to give you that kind of money because it's a small independent film that you're making. I said, who asked for the money? I want to work with Danny Boyle. I want to do this film. I want to learn something doing this film. It's an international film. I've never done an English film in my life. I've always spoken my mother tongue, which is Hindi. I've done Indian film, never done a really international film. So for me, it'll be something for me to express myself in English will be something which I've never done. So I said yes. And that's the way I started working on the film.
That film ended up becoming a massive success internationally. And one of the things it does is it starts opening up to you, as you mentioned before, to some films in Hollywood. All of a sudden, you started making more international television shows and more Western television shows and American television shows and films. What was the biggest difference you saw between the system that you kind of came into in Hollywood versus the system that you came from in India?
But what really surprised me when I came to shoot for 24 here, I was in Los Angeles for 6 months, and I started shooting, and I said, this is the way they shoot television over here. It's like a massive. It's about, it's about 300-400 people. These, it's massive. The scripts are coming in, and the prep and the detailing, and then the blue draft, there's a green draft, and the red draft. All these drafts kept on coming, and the detailing and everything. And I said, oh, wow, it's terrific. Yeah. I've never seen, I never imagined the television can be so, huge and so big and such budgets. It was one of the biggest budgets, 1024 at that time when it started. It's a mother of all thrillers, 24. So I was really taken aback. And then, of course, when I was privileged and honored to be part of Mission Impossible 4, and when I landed in Dubai, I shot in Toronto also for Mission Impossible 4. And I said, this is like a war. I said, you have a trial for your suit or clothes, and I saw it was like thousands and thousands of clothes and people, and it was a massive studio film. So that also came as a very big surprise to me. The budgets and the massiveness of the studio film, which was Mission Impossible 4. So that was completely. We don't have those kind of budgets in India. And the difference, of course, now I think everything is very. The gap is becoming lesser and lesser in terms of, because of the like earlier, if I had to audition or if you had to be in LA to meet all the executives and meet and actors, directors and casting directors. And now, it's just technology and people, they get in touch with you directly and you have a Zoom call or or that kind of stuff. So the world is shrinking. But
doesn't that go for film distribution too? Like if you look at when you first started out, I mean, you were making these films that were, in order to see them, you probably had to be in India or you had to visit certain cinemas in Canada, and then you do Slumdog Millionaire, which has a bigger worldwide release. Now, thanks to, you mentioned earlier, Disney Plus or Netflix or Hulu, as you mentioned earlier, all of a sudden it feels to me like there's more of an opportunity for films and filmmakers and TV shows to be seen around the world. Do you know what I mean?
For the consumers, it's great, and for content creators, and for us actors, technicians, writers, it's brilliant, absolutely fantastic.
But that means that the films that you make in India now can be seen internationally much more easier, and they can become massive international hits, right?
Absolutely.
Do you feel that difference now as opposed to years ago?
Of course. And I feel more and more it's going to happen now. More and more. More and more stories will be, and hopefully we make more shows which will resonate all over the world. Not yet, but we will.
I think this film has a great opportunity to do so. Thank you for coming.
Fingers crossed.
I mean, but it is. I mean, I think it has an opportunity to be a massive crossover success. The last thing I'll ask you before you go, because I know you have to.
Why last thing?
You have to go somewhere else. I was told you have to go.
No, I'll stay here tonight.
Yeah,
red carpet. I have to go for the red carpet.
You have to go to the red. You know what? I'll go to the red carpet for you. You can stay here. How about that? That's okay. That sounds like a good idea to me. You've said that you learn something from everybody you work with. You learn something from everybody you work with. But at this stage, and thank you for coming, of your career, you're working with a lot of younger people. You're working not just with your children, but you're working with younger actors. Do you still learn new things when you're working with people who are younger than you in the business?
But I think I'm the youngest. I swear, I mean it. I believe in it.
Tell me that. Tell me what you mean.
Because it's I think age is in your mind, and. Because I'm still a child. I want to learn. I'm a kid in a toy shop, and I feel I'm in the Disney world, and I don't feel old. I don't feel like a veteran. I feel like a newcomer. And when I'm on the set or when I'm reading a scene or prepping for a film, I'm excited. I don't feel. My mind is still like an 18-year-old. I might be 66. But my mind is still like 18 or 22 when I started my career. Yeah, I feel it. I think that's the way that keeps me going, and that's what's going to keep me going for many more years.
I'm glad to hear that. Such a joy to meet you. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, Tom.